Are you even excited for PS5 Pro? I don't seem to see a whole lot of excitement out there about the PlayStation 5 Pro right now. Welcome back to Frogboy X1 Gaming. I'm Andrew, and I kind of want to talk about this. We're about 11 days away from PS5 Pro. I've already got one pre-ordered. I'm definitely looking forward to it. I've been, I can't say I'm like super hyped for it, but I am curious. I'm definitely curious. So when I think of that, when I think of the way I'm feeling about PS5 Pro and not really being like super hyped for it or anything like that, it kind of makes me feel like maybe this product isn't really it's not necessary. Like, it makes me feel like it wasn't even necessary for PlayStation to do this, but at the same time, you know, bringing out PSSR later in the generation for PS5, and then being able to grow that now and start getting the necessary work in there and learning how to do that, it is definitely going to be a very, very good technology when it comes to PlayStation 6. So I'm cool with that. So I am kind of excited about that. It's going to kind of give me a window into how AI upscaling is going to perform on AMD hardware going forward. So I'm kind of excited about that. The whole reason I bought it is honestly, guys, for Gran Turismo 7. I've got the Thrustmaster TGT2 all set up. I've been playing a bunch of GT7 lately. This wheel feels incredible on there, so I'm pretty excited about that. But overall, guys, when I look over at like X or Twitter or whatever, and I see all the usual suspects over there sitting there trying to hype up something that really not a lot of people are really super excited about, it kind of just makes me feel like, you know, maybe like Sony has finally like crossed the line to where people are starting to get a little bit irritated with them and stuff over this kind of stuff. The price for this thing, $700. I mean, it is what it is. Like, if you were on PC, you'd be spending, you know, almost that for a new GPU, especially if you want, you know, some of the stuff that this thing's going to be able to deliver when it comes to like ray tracing and stuff like that. Now, I did watch a Digital Foundry video for F1 24, and I thought to myself, I was like, I mean, it looks all right. And I watched it on my 4K screen, and I'm like, dude, I got that game on PC, and it looks miles better. Like, it looks significantly better on the PC, and I'm just like, gosh dang, man. So here's my general idea about how I'm feeling about the overall look of the way PSSR looks on the PS5, which is kind of weird, guys, because when I look at it, to me it looks really similar to the way it makes games look on NVIDIA GPUs when you're using DLSS. It kind of like strips out all that like really fine-grained detail, and then it almost makes it look plasticky, like a little bit like I don't. It's weird. I don't ever have that same issue when I'm on my AMD cards, and people like keep trying to tell me that I don't know what I'm talking about, and I'm like I get how like it makes it look really sharp and really clean on a 4K TV. Like, I get that, and yes, it does, absolutely. So I mean, this, in my opinion, this PSSR is going to be closer to DLSS than it is to FSR, and for me, I don't really necessarily care about upscalers all that much. I mean, me personally, I prefer, to be completely honest with you guys, I kind of prefer like native resolution, because when you run native resolution, your TVs all have built-in upscalers. Like, most of them have a good built-in upscaler, but they cannot upscaled very well. So that's why you'll like play something and it won't look good, and you're like, oh gosh, but then you'll play something else and it'll look just fine. But if you're playing games, like, go back and test this if you want. Go back onto any game that you have that you know is 1080p native, run that thing at 1080p mode on your PS5 or Xbox Series X, and you will see that it looks significantly better. And then try it on a game you know is upscaled, and you'll see the difference right there. So native resolution is usually king, but you know, I'm curious to how this PSSR is going to work, guys. I am. But I can already tell you right now, not a lot of people are excited about PS5 Pro, and that's fine. Like, you shouldn't be. PS5 Pro needs to earn your money. You shouldn't just be like, oh yeah, I'm just going to buy it just because it's new. No, man, you already bought a PlayStation 5 this generation that said it was going to be 4K, 60 frames a second. So now that they're coming out 4 years later with another one, that's got to kind of make you ask, because we've always gotten games looking better as the generation went on. They've always gotten better, or overall, like, they come out kind of weird and janky in the first part, and then at the end of the generation is when all the bangers and everything looks good. Well, it's been completely the opposite. This generation, we got games that looked really, really good at the beginning and were 4K at 60, and then it started going downhill, went back down to 872p at freaking 30 frames a second, and now we're like getting told that now we got to buy another one. I get it, dude. I get the apprehension of people like not being excited about a PS5 Pro. Like, I get it. Like, I understand it. So yeah, dude, this thing's got to earn your money. I bought it for the channel and for Gran Turismo 7, and so that I can cover it and give you guys an honest, fair review of the PlayStation 5 Pro. Do I think it's going to suck? No, it's going to be fine. Like, it's going to do what it's supposed to do, and that will be fine. But at the same time, it's also going to not be... It's also not going to be like earth-shattering or anything like that. Like, the way I'm looking at it is, when you look at a lot of these games they have to take resolution cuts, like F124. It had to get dropped down to 1080p to 1440p just to upscale back to 4K with the ray tracing and all of that in there, when you've got an actual 4K image quality on that game already that looks good. Is the ray tracing really worth it? And I kind of question some of the modes that they're putting out. Like, ray tracing on a console is really not necessary. Like, you can do it, whatever, and do it. Like, I honestly, if I was PlayStation and developers, I would literally only make 4K 30 video or games with the ray tracing in there, and then make sure you got like a solid performance mode without the ray tracing, because it's so taxing on the system. And the lower you go on the resolution and the lower you go on the settings, the worse the overall outcome of the image quality is going to look after it's been upscaled. And DLSS and FSR, none of that stuff's going to save overall image quality. Like, it's still going to look... It's not going to look as dense as it does when you're playing like a native resolution, man. And I don't know. And some people are so fickle these days that they just fall for this stuff, and they're like, oh my gosh, it looks so good. It is what it is, man. I'm not here to tell you what you like to look at and what you don't like to look at. I mean, Digital Foundry already does that for everybody. Seriously, man, I used to literally wait for them to tell me if a game was 4K or not so that I could buy it or not. And, a lot of the recommendations that they gave me over the time, I would go back and I would look at those games, and they would be like, yeah, man, it looks great on PlayStation. I'd buy it on the PlayStation. I'm like, dude, this looks like crap, man. When they were out there being all excited and trying to shill you checkerbirds at first. And then, I'm like, man, I don't know what to think about these guys anymore, man. Like, I like Digital Foundry. I think they're good guys, but man, some of the stuff that they hang on is just, man, it's not relevant to me like it is for a lot of people. And I'm glad that I got my own two eyeballs, and that I can, buy my own stuff and make my own content, and maybe bring a little bit of balance to the way things are out here in the world. But yeah, guys, I don't know. PlayStation 5 Pro, it's weird. I really did think that there would be a lot more excitement for it. I did. Like, I honestly believed that there would be more excitement for this thing. I literally thought this thing was going to sell out. And so, like, I told myself in the beginning, I was like, dude, I'm not going to pre-order one. I'm not even going to wait. And then, like, I would literally get on, like, Best Buy, or like PlayStation would keep sending me emails all the time, like, hey, you can get your PS5 Pro right now. And I'm like, are you serious? It's still in stock. And so, like, gosh, a couple weeks ago, I was just like, you know what, man, I'm just going to order one. So I adopted a Pro so I could become a Captain Save a Pro and cover it on the channel. I mean, I can't guarantee that everything's going to be good, and I can't guarantee that everything's going to be bad. All I can do is give you guys my honest opinion on how the PlayStation 5 Pro stacks up to my PC experience, man. Because, frankly, PS5 and Xbox Series X clearly fell short this generation and forced me into the arms of a of a of a much stronger ecosystem, and now it's like, oh man, it would take a lot for consoles to pull away the grip the PC's got on me now, guys. So I don't know, man. I just really thought that there would be a lot more freaking hype surrounding this PS5 Pro. Doesn't look, it's not looking good, man. This thing's not selling out fast enough. So, all right, guys. We'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Have fun.